right, time being 6:30, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Colleen, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Gilbert,
Here.
Councilmember Patassi,
Here.
and Councilmember Kettering.
Here.
Please note that all council members, with the exception of Mayor Barrios, who is away, she decided to take the entire month off to spend all of her council paycheck money. Should take a month. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for Pastor Steve Newbaum of Life Point Church.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patrick, can you step in? Sure. Please, thank you very much. Patrick Mondragon.
Let us pray. Dear gracious and loving God, Father, we come before you this evening as a city council, as city staff, and as citizens of Oakdale, and we give you thanks and glory for everything that you do in our lives, God, including this opportunity that we have to come together this evening and make decisions for the city and to recognize a great organization as well, Father. We pray that you would be with all of us this evening and each day after that. Continue to protect us, and it's in your name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Patrick Mondragon, thank you very much, Patrick. Hey, before we get into it, just wanted to bring up tomorrow night is National Night Out, in case you haven't heard about it. It's 8 different block parties. We'll talk more about that later, but I just wanted to bring it up before everybody leaves the room. First on the agenda tonight, we're recognizing the Oakdale Fence Company for 25 years in business. Come on up to the microphone and tell us a little bit about the business. Good evening.
Well, quite an honor to be recognized for 25 years, clean 25 years. We don't have a customer out there that's unhappy with what we've done. Which, that takes effort and integrity. You really got to do the job and do it right consistently to be able to say that after 25 years. You have something to say?
So what's the next 25 years going to bring? What's the next 25 years going to bring?
Well, we've established Oakdale Custom Gates and Gate Automation, which is part of the company. And it'll be, I think that's the future. Fencing is fencing. Everybody's got one, and there'll be always a certain amount going on there. But gates, we're a target for a lot of crime. And a lot of people see wealth here. I mean, we're a wealthy community. It's kind of nice, Nice place to live. But the criminals look at us as a target, so gates will always be, and a lot of people don't want to be able to get out and open the gate every time they come home or close it. So automation is the big thing. However, it's expensive. There's no getting around it. It's expensive.
Yes, it is.
So.
Do you want to introduce the person to your left here?
Well, this is Rob, my son.
I'm Robert. I'm the other owner, basically.
Do you want to say a few words, Rob?
He's the licensee and loaner now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you for recognizing us, and I mean, I'm not really good at any of this kind of stuff, so I'm not going to say a whole lot. He's better at this kind of thing.
Well, thank you for 25 years being in Oakdale, and here's hoping for another 25 for you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
We're going to take a picture, so stand. right, moving on, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight?
No.
Okay, right now it's time for public comment. If you'd like to comment for something that is not on the agenda tonight, you can come on up. Please state your name. You get 3 minutes of public comment.
It's on. Thank you. George Hoover, 389 Oak Branch Street. I live in the Live Oak subdivision. Tonight I'd like to speak briefly about the Walmart, neighborhood Walmart that's planned for the Kmart facility. My neighbors and I are strongly opposed to that. We find no need for another grocery store, pharmacy here. If you want to put a full Walmart in, we need hard goods. We don't have hard goods in this town. You're not going to get any more sales tax out of a neighborhood Walmart. You're going to bleed away from the others. We'll end up closing Raley's. The people on the highway are going to stop in Walmart, so we're going to lose out on our grocery stores. So I'm strongly opposed to that. Our pharmacies, we already have three, actually, if you count River Oaks, and so we don't need more. If you want to go find something that generates sales tax for this city. We know that's what the goal is, so please, on that. Secondly, on the airport, I wish the council would reappoint an airport commission. Last week, the FAA released their Mosaic rules. They're designed to reduce pilot training, reduce mechanic training, and increase the capacity and speeds of aircraft. You need to be familiar with that with this airport. The primary reason I came to you about the airport before the Mosaic was we are inundated with overflights, low overflights, and they're not coming from in this community. We're being used as a pilot training base because of the uncontrolled airport. So there is no video to show who leaves or goes. There are 286 pilots registered in Stanislaus County. Only 48 are in Oakdale. 16 of those are crop dusters operating on their own wheels. Okay? So we got 32 pilots, 2 of which are doing these flights. There are others coming in from Antioch, from Stockton, from Tracy, and let them practice at their own airport. I would like you to look at Longmont, Colorado, and their voluntary FAA, or their voluntary guidelines to their pilots. They have an ideal website that shows you what we could do. Now, if we're going to expand this airport, please open up the airport commission, and this time let's not focus on the internecine fights on the hangars. The hangars are supplementary. I live at the corner where Oakdale or Junior High and Sierra View meet, and those flights are coming directly over my house with 1,000 kids in session. We're going to have a Farrell's. We're less than 2 miles from the end of that runway, and it's pointed like an arrow at us. So please, reappoint the airport commission and get this thing under control before this town grows, and it's going to grow. 2028, we're looking at the bypass. Please.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you for your comments, George. Just wanted to make one comment. We can't say a word about it. The Walmart is just paperwork at this point. It has to go to the planning commission before it even comes here. So we
Understand.
can't discuss it at all.
I thank you,
Okay?
but I can discuss it
You
here.
can say whatever you want.
And
Yep.
when was the next planning commission meeting, please?
I don't know that. Tom, do you know that? Wednesday.
Wednesday. I'll be there, and I'll discuss it with them.
If you look at the website of Walmart, if you go on the Walmart website, it has a lot of information.
About this particular
Not
site?
this one, but what that store.
I went to their Walmart and I looked at the comparison with the superstores versus the regular Walmart versus the neighborhood market. In the neighborhood market, we don't need.
Okay, thank you, George.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Richard Boss. I'm the owner and operator of Rich's Pool Service. I've been in business since 1993, and I've been here in Oakdale since 2005. That's 20 years. Earlier this year, I had an incident where my neighbor turned in a false claim on me, and it was reported that I was dumping chemicals in the orchard and in the storm drain, which I was not. I was visited by the code enforcer and the county hazmat, and the county hazmat, he was mostly concerned with the amount of chemicals that I had, but I told him, I said they were mostly empty. Within 2 days, I took in all my empties, got my money back, and had a receipt to prove that I had turned them in and that they, in fact, were empty. And he was satisfied. I never spoke with him again. But the code enforcer instead, 10 days later, sent me a letter stating that my business license was going to be revoked on March 1st, which was like 14, 16 days later, which she didn't have the right to do. I was supposed to get a hearing in front of the city council, and only the city council was allowed to actually revoke my business license. And then just days later after that, I received another letter from the finance department. It wasn't signed by anybody, it was just signed the finance department, and it stated the same thing, that my license was gonna be revoked on March 1st. At this point, that's how I make my money, that's how I pay my bills, so I hired a lawyer in my defense, and this kind of drug out for a little while, and I actually sent an appeal. My lawyer helped me write the letter. Sent an appeal, and it took 30 days for Jeff to get back to me, but he finally did, and he didn't want to address any of the chemical dumping or anything, and I still hadn't seen any of the discovery. I filled out the form, said may take up to 10 days. I didn't see the discovery for 90 to 100 days afterwards, when I finally went in and I talked to Jeff in person, and Jeff Gravel. And anyway, when I finally did see what was in the evidence, it was simply me taking my recycles to the recycle place. They were in old chlorine buckets, you know, and other ones were just dirt and sod that were in buckets. But the neighbor took all these pictures, so it looked like I had all these chemicals, which I didn't. They were just buckets filled with other things. And then as it stands right now, they wanted me to fill out a home occupation business application, which after talking with Christopher Smith this morning, I'm willing to do that because he's assured me, because at this point I was just scared. I thought that they were just coming after my license one way or another. I thought they were going to deny it, you know, and he actually admitted, because my lawyer found out, that my license was still valid because they couldn't revoke my license from me, and that I should just keep doing business as usual. And then, of course, Jeff Gravel said that at the end of the year he didn't have to renew my license. But like I said, at this point I am willing to fill out the application, but if I can get reimbursed for my lawyer's fees, because I shouldn't have never had to spend that money on the lawyer. It came to $2,500 and something. It was several hours, and lawyers are very expensive, as you know. But anyway, that's all I really have to say.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Any other public comments tonight? Okay, we'll move on to City Council consent agenda. Any council member want to discuss anything, remove it? This is a motion item.
I motion.
Say again.
I have a question on the minutes. With respect to,
Please come to the microphone.
oh, thank you.
George, thank you.
There's a motion made and approved to paint the exterior of the 285 North 3rd. I presume that's the old PG&E building?
Yeah, that was
And
last,
the automatic door?
that was the last meeting.
Yes, and I note that in here, but I noticed a comment by Bob Amaral, but I don't see a comment, and a PowerPoint by Supervisor Williams, and I don't see the YouTube video, so I can tell what was said at that meeting. My initial question is, why are we paying 50% of that cost out of the sewer and water funds?
That was explained at the last meeting, that we approved this painting. That building is going to be the new billing center for the Water and Sewer Department.
For the water and sewer department, not the city finance department?
Well, Albert, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yes, it is going to be the finance department. Over 50% of the finance staff does nothing but water and sewer billing. And so that's why the allocation is done, that the general government pays for 50%, and then water and sewer is paying for the other 50%.
And so then we would anticipate that the overhead cost would go down, the ones that you've been charging to the sewer and water, because now they're paying for their own building?
Point of order. He can come to my office and I'll entertain all these questions. City council
Thank
isn't
you.
the proper.
I appreciate that. But
George,
would-
if I could
what-
get your
I would-
phone number so we can talk.
I'll leave that with you. But I would like to ask that the comment by the individual, it's just his name. What did he say?
We'll look into the YouTube, but like I said, give me your number. We can talk. I can answer all these questions for you outside of this chamber.
The old meeting is on YouTube, and the problem is with
They
you.
aren't on there.
The problem with YouTube is there's two tabs on top. One says live and one says like archive or something. So you press the archive thinking that's the old ones. No, press the live one and that lists all the old ones. It's, for whatever reason, it's reversed on that.
Thank you.
Okay, any council member have a motion here?
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Colleen, we have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Gilbert? Yes. Councilmember Kettering?
Yes.
Councilmember Patassi?
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes, this item passes 4-0. We're going to move on to public hearings, and we have 4 different public hearings that are very similar to assess landscape and lighting fees in 4 different neighborhoods. So if that's what you all are here for tonight, hang tight.
I would ask that you
We're going to get into the,
10-4 first.
we are not going to do that. We're going to go in the order of the agenda. So item number 1, the first one is public hearing requesting the approval of the engineer's report and ordering the levy and collection of assessments for Bridle Ridge Landscape and Lighting Maintenance District for the fiscal year of 25-26. We'll have a presentation, and then we will open it for a public hearing for any public comment, and then the hearing will be closed.
Before we move into this, I have a conflict as I live in Bridle Ridge, so I'll be leaving the dais.
Okay, thank you. Who's taking this one?
I will.
Okay.
Annually, we must hold a public hearing on the assessment of the lighting and landscaping for all of the districts. This is the first district, which is Bridle Ridge. This is maps of the areas of Bridle Ridge. There are 1,163 parcels. The maximum authorized amount is $602.44 annually, and the proposed assessment is the $602.44. Last year's assessment was $584, so there is a $17.54 annual increase. And so staff is recommending that the City Council adopt the resolution approving the engineer's report and ordering the levy and collection of the assessments for the Bridle Ridge Lighting and Landscaping District for 25-26 fiscal year.
Okay, we're going to open this up for public comment for 10.1 only tonight. Seeing,
I'm going to make my comment now based on what I'm seeing in the other districts that I have reviewed today, and that is that there's significant fund balances in these that exceed the needs by anywhere from 90 years to 167 years. In the case of the one that I did, I suspect that this one has the same residual problem, that it has an enormous fund balance greater than it's necessary. And those funds are property owners' funds that you have collected over time. Therefore, if that is the case in this district, why would you incur an increase? Why wouldn't you have a decrease? Now, I don't know on this one. I asked that and I'll present my findings on the 10.4, but I am finding that there's a significant overfunding of these landscape and lighting districts. Therefore, I would request the council table this until September 2nd.
Actually, this lighting landscaping district has had deficits. It has a very limited fund balance, and these resolutions must be adopted by August 15th because we need to submit those to the county assessor's office. So again, this fund needs the additional revenue to be able to function.
Okay, so this is not a profit-making measure. We've done this every year for 6 years that I've been sitting here.
Yes.
This is a break-even
Correct.
measure to pay for the landscaping and lighting costs that we incur.
Correct.
Yeah,
You-
we'll demonstrate that on the next ones where
Space.
there's plenty of funding and there's no need to increase it.
Thank you. This comes back to the
So-
council. Any questions?
I was asking Tom if I had a conflict with this since I live in the vineyards, but Bridle Ridge is the entirety of it.
Separate.
So I think I missed some information on there. So are we,
We're voting to
Rate-
approve a $17 increase per year.
per year? But you just said in the next one that you're not going to increase it?
And we'll provide that detail.
Right.
That's
Okay.
10.2, different neighborhood.
Yeah, 10.2 it's not a money-making operation. It's basically designed to cover all the costs, and that's all it covers.
And on some, we do have reserves, and those are to deal with capital needs. And so that when we determine that there's sufficient reserves, then we do not do increases.
And so there's not going to be an increase on 10.1, or
No.
there is?
No, you're,
On 10.1, which is Bridle Ridge, we will be doing an increase of $17.54
Got
a
it.
year.
Okay.
But there are several of the other districts that we will not be doing increases because they have sufficient funds. That the revenue that's collected annually at the current rates
covers.
covers the operations of those districts, and so we will not be doing rate increases on those. And many of those, we have not done so for several years.
Okay.
I motion to approve item 10-1.
Am I allowed to second?
Mhm.
I will second motion 10.1.
Councilmember Gilbert,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith,
Yes.
and Councilmember Patassi.
I don't want to increase any costs for people in the neighborhood, so I will vote no.
Okay, for clarification, if they don't pay those fees, the city pays those fees. That means the rest of the city.
That's going to come out of the general
Residents.
fund. It's going to affect public safety.
And the annual operation of this district is in excess of $600,000.
Bottom line is we are asking these neighborhoods to pay for their landscape and lighting increases. So the rest of the town doesn't have to pay extra for this neighborhood's.
That's correct. If they don't pay it, the entire city is going to pay it for them.
I get it. I'm conflicted, so
Is that a yes or a no from you?
I'll abstain.
Colleen, we have a first and a second.
I already did the roll,
Oh, you did.
right? It's still
Okay.
Tom.
So it's 2-1?
We
Yeah.
need 3 votes for it to pass.
Okay, so this one fails 2-1.
Okay?
Okay, we're gonna move on to 10.2. Let me go get Jeff.
Thank you.
Well, I see what they're saying, but I feel like we need to table it so I can get more information on it.
In a normal situation, we would, but as Albert said, this has to be approved at this meeting so it can go up to the county.
So it's got to be decided on today.
That's correct.
Yes.
This will affect the general fund. It's going to take money out of the general fund.
Okay.
Are you requesting a revote?
Can we even do that? Are
I don't
we
know. I'm never.
allowed to
I'm still
request a
new.
revote?
Still learning. So.
You can request to do another.
I don't like everybody staring at me.
I'm not staring at you.
Well, I don't want the rest of the town to have to pay for something that is in a specific neighborhood.
You can either request a revote or we request that we move on.
motion for reconsideration? Does it have to be right now, or can we do it in a little bit? Okay, do it in a little bit.
I'll show you why.
Yeah, we need.
Oh, it has to be, I thought you said yes, I could do it later.
Not yet, I don't think so.
You're gonna have to tell me what I have to say, because I don't know
Do
yet.
you want to make a motion to?
Yes, motion to reconsider.
I will second that motion to reconsider.
Councilmember Patassi? This is just. to re-
Councilmember
this is-
Patassi, do you have any questions for me to help, so I could help clarify?
I just want to make sure, that, well, the way you re-explained it, where if the entirety of the city's gonna have to come and pay, so they're gonna get up $17 and whatever cents it was
Per year?
per year,
Per
Yes.
house.
but only,
Only the people, only the households in Bridle Ridge will be
that
assessed
benefit from
this
the lighting and all the maintenance and stuff like
in
that.
their neighborhood are
In their
assessed
neighborhood.
$17.54. Anybody else in the city of Oakdale does not benefit from those. Some of the older neighborhoods, they're not assessed this, but because they don't live in Bridle Ridge.
Gotcha.
And,
Alright.
and keep in mind, this covers the landscaping. You know how Bridle Ridge has
Most strips.
has mow strips. We
Mhm.
have to cover those through these costs, and it costs a significant amount of time and money for our personnel to do it, and that's how we cover it.
Got it.
If we don't cover it through this, we're gonna cover it through other means, and that means that it's gonna be the general fund.
Okay. I don't like it, but I understand where you're going, and I'll change my vote to yes.
We're gonna re-vote.
A motion to reconsider the vote.
I'll second that motion to reconsider.
Councilmember Patassi?
Um,
This is just the motion to reconsider,
okay,
so yes.
so yes.
And then Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert?
Yes.
Okay.
So
then
I'm
we
gonna
can-
bring it back to a vote for 10.1.
Right.
I motion to approve item 10-1.
I will second that motion.
Councilmember Gilbert?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes.
And Councilmember Patassi?
Like I said, I don't like raising taxes on people or costs, but I understand that the rest of the city should not have to go up in their prices for a single neighborhood, but I understand, so I'll vote yes.
Item 10.1 passes on its second try, 3-0. I'll go get Jeff.
Is it for this one now I step out?
This is the vineyards,
Yeah.
yes. You just want to just announce that you'll be abstaining from this
I
item.
have to abstain because I live in the neighborhood.
All right, welcome back, Councilmember Kettering. This is 10.2, a public hearing requesting the approval of the engineer's report and ordering a levy and collection of assessments for the Vineyards Landscape Lighting Maintenance District for fiscal year 25 and 26. We're going to have a presentation, then we'll open it up to public comment.
Yes, again, this is the public hearing for the Vineyards Lighting and Landscaping District for the fiscal year 2025-26. These are the areas of the vineyard. There are 392 parcels. The maximum authorized amount is $777.59. The proposed assessment is $600.62, which is a no increase. The district does have reserves that are set aside for light replacement, tree replacement, park structure replacement, and for operations. And so staff is recommending that the council adopt the resolution approving the engineer's report and authorizing the assessment for the 25-26 fiscal year.
Authorizing the non-changed assessment.
Correct, the same assessment as it was for last year. No
Yeah.
increase.
Open this up for public comment. Anybody want to talk about this particular one?
I'll make my same objection that we're getting incomplete information in these slides. What we're not looking at are the street light, the tree fund balances that have grown exponentially and very high. When I look at the annual cost of the replacement of the trees and the street lights, in some of the cases, we're looking at hundreds of years worth of dollars there for those replacement in those funds. This is why this fund is not getting an increase. But what it should be doing is getting a decrease so that you are paying back those over-collected street light and tree funds faster. You're hanging on to the money. The city is hanging on to our money in these. They need to not just keep it flat. Now, in the case where they are in need of growing, including my district, which is right at where I think it should be, we need to have an increase. But the others are being overtaxed significantly. And I ask you to give the full facts on that, show those fund balances against those particular items, and show what the engineer's report shows on pages 194 through 197. The cost of a tree is $300. Multiply times the number of trees in the district, divided into the fund balance. It tells me that some of them are 167 years. What is going on here? You're adding $950 or some amount each year, but you've already got 167 years worth of collection. It is time to refund our balances, not just, and I want to tell this council it is abhorrent that you bring this on August 4th with a deadline of August 15th, and we have no recourse. This gentleman here wanted recourse, and you bullied him into that. And I'm disgusted by it.
Any other public comment for this item? No? Okay. Is there a mechanism to refund if the fund
Reduce
is...
the fee. That's the refund.
I'm sorry, sir, this is a council item now.
We're, for the 25-26 fiscal year, we're actually using 74,000 of the reserves to cover operating costs.
Okay. Thank you. This is a council item. Any questions?
Not a question, but I want to thank the city staff for putting this together. I probably read 200 and some pages regarding lighting and landscape districts that I have never seen in my life before. I think I learned more in the last 48 hours about lighting districts and landscape districts than I ever thought I would know in my life. So thank you for putting this all together. It made sense. Running a government agency in my past, I understand balances. I understand how a lot of that works, and thank you for putting that all together.
This is a motion item.
And I'll move to approve this item.
I second that motion.
Colleen, we have a first and a second.
Councilmember Kettering,
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes, 10.2 approved, 3-0. Okay, next item on the agenda is 10.3, a public hearing requesting for approval of the engineer's report and ordering the levy and collection of assessments for Birchall Hill landscape and lighting maintenance for the fiscal year of 25-26. We'll have a presentation, then public comment.
Again, we're doing the Birchall Hill Lighting and Landscaping District. This is the area that covers the Birchall Hill. There are 354 parcels. The authorized assessment is $749.04. We are proposing the actual assessment to be $749.04. For this district, we are proposing an increase of $19.62. This district currently has a deficit. It is in the hole $1,600. And even with the increase, we are looking at adding $10,000 to that deficit. So it will end the proposed, projected to end the year with $12,000 in the hole.
Okay, we're going to open this to public comment. Any public comment on 10.3?
With regard to your comment, that's not prepared by the staff, it's prepared by the engineer's report, okay? And it's just a continuing redo of the same information. I still am opposed to you folks approving this at this late date without looking at a reduction in these amounts. I hear what Albert is saying about the paying the operating cost. Because you don't have it, that means you've overcollected. That's why you're paying the operating cost with zero budgets this year. You're paying it out of reserves. So you really need to look at it in more detail. And I'll give you a sheet at the next 10.4 that'll explain what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Any other public comment? No? Bring it back to the council. Any questions?
When does this have to be in by, did you say?
It has to be submitted to the county, August 15th.
I wish I would have gotten prepped on this sooner. I know we got this stuff on Friday last week, but I was out of town for work, so didn't have the opportunity to get up to speed on the real details of this stuff, because these presentations aren't included with the information that we get. Why did this didn't get brought to us sooner? Just curious.
When we did the introduction, there needs to be 30 days between the introduction and the public hearing. And so it was brought to council at the beginning of July. And so it's one that, although we provide the budget information to the engineers, and so it's one that this is the timeline that we've done every year.
Gotcha.
After we adopt a budget, then we provide the information to the engineer, who then prepares the report.
Okay.
I just wanted members of the council to know that Jerry, he does take phone calls at 10:30 p.m., 11 p.m. He takes calls on Saturdays and Sundays, all hours. So he is accessible if we do have questions.
You're 100% right, and Jerry always answers my questions and calls. Like I said, I was out of town for work all week, and I take responsibility for not following up with him and getting more information, so I got it. I'm a big boy, I can admit it. But yeah, here we are.
I also just want to say one thing. The slide presentation that you're all watching right now is a, 3, 4, 5, 6-page summary of the 300-page packet that we have to look through with all of the numbers, with the engineer's report, with the budget line items itemized. And that packet is available to everybody by going on the website and just downloading the agenda packet. It's available every Thursday before every Monday's meeting.
Yep. First time I haven't gotten to go through a packet, so that's on me.
Okay.
I motion to approve item 10.3.
Second that.
Colleen, we have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Gilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Kettering?
Yes.
Councilmember Patassi?
Abstain from
And
voting.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes, this item passes 3 and 1 abstention. Moving on to 10.4, public hearing requesting the approval of the engineer's report and ordering the levy and collection for Live Oak / Rhineman Court / Sunset Meadows / Sterling Hills and Murdoch Estates for the fiscal year 25-26. First the presentation, then public hearing, public comment.
Yes, these are the areas of each of the districts. This is Live Oak, Ryman Court, Sunset Meadows, Sterling Hills, and Murdoch Court. The above is the number of parcels in each of the zones, the authorized amounts, and the proposed assessments. And as you can see, Live Oak, the maximum authorized $331. The proposed assessment is $62. And part of the reason that this district, the operating costs are so low is that the homeowners 15 years ago came to the council and took the maintenance of their mow strips. And they mow those mow strips. That subdivision, the water is piped to the homeowners. They're paying for the water for the landscaping district. And so that we are paying primarily for the streetlights, and then every 5 or so years, we prune the trees. And so that's why this district, the assessments are so low. Ryman Court, we're proposing at the maximums because it is a very small district. Sunset Meadows.
Can we
are-
pause right there? Because what you don't see is the actual increase of $14.
Yes. So here, there's
There we
the
go.
increase, and part of that is that district, even with the increase, we're projecting a $2,700 deficit. They do have a reserve that can absorb the deficit. The Sunset Meadows, we are we're not proposing any increase, although it's basically breaking even. It does have some reserves, and on all of these, because there could be, when we need to go in and prune those trees, it is very expensive. So we have reserves to deal with those unexpected items. Also Sterling Hills, we're not proposing any increase, but it will have a deficit of $2,700, but it has a reserve that, so it will absorb those within those reserve costs. Murdoch Court is a very small district, and it's the property owners for years have, actually, one of the property owners has been paying for all of the mowing of the strips. The homeowners have taken that now on. They're paying for their mow strips. But because it's such a small district, we are still going to be having about a $600 deficit, but it has a very small reserve, so it's able to absorb those.
So the increase in that district is $1 a month.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And
Okay.
so, staff is asking that the council adopt the resolutions ordering the levy and the assessments as and the proposed staff report.
Okay, and all four of these, 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, have no fiscal impact on the general fund.
Correct.
Because, for the specific reason that they are paying their own costs. And that is
Correct.
why you come before the council every year to outline these increases.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Open it for public comment. Anybody have a public comment on 10.4?
Yes, sir. Pages 1 through 5, we're doing grade 7. And I think it'll have you understand what I'm doing. First of all, I've been a public school employee for 15 years. And as a finance manager, and I would be appalled and taken to task for bringing this to the board on August 4th with no recourse to make changes to it.
For
Other than a
clarification, this
special-
was brought before the council
I
2
think-
meetings ago.
I understand that, but this is the first chance you have of passing it, correct?
Yeah.
And the only chance, and that's the
that is correct.
dilemma.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have a special election. You brought up valid questions. This assessment, if you look at it, starts out by showing you the 5 different subdivisions we showed. And if I can ask Albert to go back to that other slide that he had that showed the 5. Yes, thank you. So you see there, and possibly even the one before that. Okay. See the 33106 and the 6210. I mentioned to you, Jerry, that I had met 3 city managers. The first was Howland in 2009, June, when I went to each of the property owners, got a vote, a signed vote that I still retain, that the property owners wished to have ours reduced and have the Grover landscaping removed because they were bringing weeds into our properties. Since we were watering those strips, the city agreed. And so our authorized assessment should have gone down in 2009. The assessment has a 3% increase each year. And so 6210 is fine for right now. But if you look on page 202, you're going to see how that number has jockeyed around over time. You'll see in 2014 that I met the new city manager when he started to get above what I believe was the amount that should have been, and you'll see a reduction from 7362 to 6124 the following year. And then it stayed flat. But it was still above the authorized amount that should have been reevaluated. So we can take that up later, Jerry. I'll bring that to you in that meeting that you discussed earlier. But on this sheet, you see the assessed units per, you see the number of trees in each place, you see the number of light poles, you see that a tree costs $500 to replace, that a light pole costs $300 to replace. Then you see direct cost per each, and indirect and an indirect percentage. You'll notice that my Live Oak subdivision has a 46.8% indirect cost, while the others are 1.3 to 4.7. Something's wrong there. The fact that that is the district with the smallest direct and indirect cost, yet has the highest agency admin and contract services, or second highest contract services, is questionable as to how those are being determined. Now you see street lights. There's a fund balance there. That's what I'm really honing in on.
George, I'm going to thank you for your public comments. We have to limit them to 3
All right,
minutes.
I
but
appreciate
can you-
your looking at that balance of the annual contribution. It's the number of years here that's bringing my ire that you should be
Can you
reflecting.
set up a meeting with City
I
Manager
will.
Rumar? Thank you. Okay, we're going to bring 10.4 back to the council. I'm sorry. Hi, Kathleen.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Kathleen Westenberg. I am a resident of Live Oak. I do have a question. When they built our development, who owns the sidewalks in this case, in this scenario? Maintains if something goes wrong? Who deals
Again.
with issues with the sidewalks?
Please make your comment, and then if you have questions, let's address them towards me, and we can have a meeting in my office outside of the council chambers.
Okay. Anyway, thank you. I thought we went to 5 minutes. I guess you all changed it. I think we used it in 3 minutes, 5.
Yeah, it was changed to 3 minutes about 4 years ago. Okay. Any other public comment? No? Bring it back to the council. 10.4. Any questions, comments? This is a motion item.
I'll move to approve.
I second that motion.
Colleen, we have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Kettering,
Yes.
Councilmember Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Potassi,
Abstain.
and Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Yes, this passes 3 with 1 abstention. Thank you, staff. Moving on to 11.1, designating a voting delegate to take action on resolutions that establish the League of California Cities policy at the League of California Cities Annual Conference.
All right, good evening. No presentation because it's a simple item. The League of California Cities Annual Conference will take place October 8th through the 10th in Long Beach. Central feature of the conference is the annual business meeting on Friday, October 8th, where cities vote on resolutions that shape league policy. In order for us to have a voting delegate, City Council has to pass the ordinance and select the voting delegate. And from that, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Smith.
We're going to open it to public comment for 11.1, approving a delegate to this conference. And I want to say, I've been hearing about this conference for about 6 years, and it's something that we are all involved in. And I would say that I would like to see City Manager Ramar go to it, because I'm certainly not going to go. Any other comments from the council?
Can I just interrupt?
Oh, would you like to be? Would you like to go? Did I just throw you under the bus?
The council in the past has gone with Christopher Smith's recommendation of the city manager being the voting delegate. You can also make alternate delegates, which are typically city council members. If you would like me to attend, I will attend.
bring it to the council.
That was my question, is who's been doing it for us in the past? and-
Brian, or the city manager, every year.
Gotcha.
This is a council item.
I motion to approve item 11.1.
Well,
That makes sense.
let's nominate the delegate, and it sounds like it's probably gonna be me, and then if you wanna have an alternate, you can. If you don't want an alternate, you don't have to have an alternate.
So just add.
I would like to approve item 11.1 as Jerry I'm so sorry, as our delegate for the League of California Cities,
Well said.
and Christopher would like to be his alternate.
No, Cher would, because she's not here.
So
All
is
right.
that first and second?
Do we have a
Jared,
second?
was that a second?
Second.
All
Okay,
right.
Colleen?
Councilmember Gilbert,
Yes.
Councilmember Patassi,
Yes.
Councilmember Kettering,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Congratulations, City Manager Ramar. Yes, it passes 4-0. We're moving to 11.2, authorizing the city manager to accept and execute a grant agreement in its entirety from the FAA for runway safety area marking project.
Hello, my name's Tyler Hendon. I'm the Senior Engineering Technician and Airport Manager. I'll be going over 11.2, the FAA grant acceptance. So this is a consideration for resolution of authorizing the city manager to accept and execute a grant agreement in its entirety from the FAA for the runway safety area marking project design only. The FAA, through the Airport Infrastructure Grant Program, provides funding assistance for airports planning and development projects that enhance safety, capacity, and environmental sustainability. Oakdale Municipal Airport has identified the need to improve airfield safety by updating and enhancing the runway safety area markings to meet the current FAA standards. This design-only phase is critical to ensure proper planning and compliance before construction and implementation. Based on the current runway displaced threshold and the grading nonconformance with the existing irrigation channel east of runway 28, remarking of the runway is needed. The proposed project would initiate the design and engineering for enhanced runway safety area markings. These markings serve to clearly identify safe zones and movement areas for aircraft, helping reduce runway incursions and improve overall airfield safety. Because the FAA provides a limited window to accept a grant once it is offered, this is a pre-approval is required before the grant is formally awarded. The total cost for the design phase for the runway safety area marking project is estimated to be $113,200. The FAA is expected to fund 95% of the eligible cost of $107,540. The city's share would be $5,660, which is available within the Airport Capital Improvement Fund 658. Staff recommends that the City Council adopts the resolution authorizing the city manager to accept and execute the grant agreement in its entirety from the FAA for the runway safety area marking project design only. Any questions?
And for clarity, this is only for the design, only for the on paperwork design only. At the approval of this grant, when we get the money and we do the design, are we gonna try to get a grant for the
Yes.
actual marking?
We should, that's a different program, so that's through the AIP program, Airport Improvement Program. And so the construction portion of it, we will apply for that grant, and due to guaranteed funds that the airport has, we should be able to get the funds for
Okay,
it.
but we can't get that phase 2 money if we don't get this design done.
Right.
Okay, so this is the key to open the door of number 2.
Right.
Thank you.
That was my question, is if we get approved for this grant and do the design, then for the actual work and construction work, will the city be on the hook for paying the entirety? What's the likelihood of getting the secondary grant? If you get this grant, obviously like what Chris
we
said.
will most likely get it. I don't have a probability on it or anything, but we will most likely get it. It's because we
Is
have.
it typical to get it after? Okay.
Yeah, because we have guaranteed funds through both the AIG program and the AIP program. And so we get to dictate what we use the funds for. And this is something that has been on the list of items to do at the airport through our engineers. And so this is just the process that we're going through. So we'll most likely get it. Because we do have basically a fund, you can actually look on the FAA website for what our guaranteed funds are. So no matter what, we will get 90% of the grant for the construction, and then the state will cover 5%. So again, whatever the construction costs are, we will pay typically about 5%.
Okay. This is just how my brain works, but what if we don't get it? Does the design fall on its face, or we get the design and it's still good for X amount of years until we are up for the next round?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, but I mean, with the guaranteed money of the grant, I can almost guarantee we will get the money for this, but it's just, technically, they have the option to say no, but for the most part, with talking to the FAA, we will get the grant to do the construction on this.
Thank you.
And to elaborate on what Councilmember Patassi just asked. So if we get this money for this design, we do the design, and then we don't get that money, we are not on the hook to have to do any work because of this design.
Right, yeah, we don't have to do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Just a technical question, there was a word in there that kind of confused me, is have we already received approval for the grant, or is it coming to us in order, they have to have the council approval before you apply?
So I already applied for the grant. I have verbal approval that we will get this grant, but because they only give us 48 hours to accept the grant. So that's why we need pre-approval. So when it comes in, we can just.
No, totally, I know it's usually one or the other when it comes to these grants,
Yeah.
I just didn't know which one this was, that's my fault for not looking.
So this is a council, oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna take public comment first for item 11.2. Any public comment?
You said you submitted this yourself without council approval
We submitted a grant, just the application. Doesn't,
in your position?
airport manager and senior engineering technician.
Can you come up to the microphone so we
Tyler,
can
you
hear
can
the
sit down.
conversation?
Are there other grants
Colleen?
that you've applied for
time.
that the council hasn't heard of?
Point of order, point of order. Any questions need to be directed to me. Again, George, you need to come to my office with those
Oh,
questions.
you need to direct to you?
Yes,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
And in generalities, all of the departments always seek grants. They don't ask our permission first. We are constantly looking for grants. Okay. Any other public comments? No? Okay. Back to the council.
I motion to approve item 11-2.
Second.
Colleen, roll call, please.
Councilmember Gilbert?
Yes.
Councilmember Kettering?
Yes.
Councilmember Patassi?
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Smith?
Yes, this passes 4-0. Thank you. Next is city manager's report. You want to give us an update?
Yeah, item 12.1 is the vendors and property development with the lien release update from the last city council meeting. From 175 South Mag. Brief background, as you know, the owners of 175 South Mag were issued administrative fines in the total of $77,600 for structural and landscaping deficiencies at the old Kmart building. A request came into staff to reduce the fees from the owners, and so we brought it to City Council. City Council, by minute order, directed staff to retain the $77,600 on July 21st, 2025. On July 22nd, 2025, the city received a wire payment from Benderson for the administrative fees totaled $77,600. The lien was released that day, so the sale of the property can go through. This is informational only and no council action required. And with that, I'll take some questions from council if you have them. And remember, after the lien was released, I sent an email to
Each of us.
each of you so that you were aware of it.
Any questions from the council on this item?
I thought it was great. They paid the next day.
The next day,
Yeah.
they had the money ready.
That's money that the city needed or deserved for, them kicking the can down the road.
We incurred a lot of costs through staff and the administrative process, so,
Nice to be reimbursed.
yeah, that needed to be reimbursed.
Good work.
Moving on to
Thank you.
council items. Any city council member have something they'd like to bring up? Other than National Night Out. Do you want to say a couple words, or Chief, do you want to say anything about National Night Out tomorrow? Sure. Okay. State your name. You get 3 minutes.
I'll keep it short. Jason Grogan, Chief of Police. I definitely want to welcome every council member. I know you're going to be out there tonight or tomorrow night. Everybody here, please visit your neighborhoods. We have 8 going on in the whole city of Oakdale. We're sponsoring the one at Burchell Park, and
You want to read the list?
I'll read.
Okay.
and it will be probably until about 8 p.m. at night at each location, and each one has their own time, so they could close a little earlier. But we plan on visiting each location. Our staff, along with fire department, will be there, and the city council members. So please come on out. That's everybody's opportunity to meet your staff and enjoy with your neighbors, and that's how we kind of keep an eye on each other's properties and make sure that we fight the crime together as a community. So we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, and remember, Oakdale is #1 for population size, 5 years in a row. So our community definitely supports the police department, and we support our community. The 8 different communities are Belmare Senior Living, Golden Empire Apartments, Laurel in California, which is actually Walnut, right in that neighborhood, East G and South Mag, Oakleaf Meadow Apartments, Tesoro, and Carmel Ranch. We will have officers rotating through each of those so that you can meet. We try to get through as many people as we can so that our community can see our staff and our police officers.
And our briefing is at 4?
Our briefing is in here at 4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's going to be here.
So the next item is that the August 18th council meeting has
Just
been...
Christopher, before, real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to thank for all the work that's been going on the National Night Out. I'm going to do, I know just like all of us are going to do our best to get to several locations. I think I made 5 last year. So I'm going to try and do more. If you see me, I'll probably look a little different. I will not have a coat and tie on tomorrow night. But I will be carrying a camera. Feel free to yell at me and I'll take your picture. And I'd love to see the whole city, all the community. And my goal is to tell a story through my photos from tomorrow night. So.
And Councilmember Kettering said he would eat 2 hamburgers at each location that he stopped at. So we'll see how that goes. Any other council items? No? All right. August 18th council meeting has been canceled. Apparently, City Manager Ramar wrote in his contract that he doesn't have to sit through 2 council meetings in a row that I host, so.
It was well written.
Okay. The next regular council meeting will be on September 2nd. That's a Tuesday, not a Monday. September 2nd at 6:30 p.m. right here in the Chamber Councils. Mayor Barrios will be at that meeting, and she texted me that she will be bringing very expensive souvenirs for everybody in the room that night. So be here. Good night.